Hey guys, welcome to the next chapter. I'm Prim Siripipat. Today's guest, he plays for the Portland Trail Blazers. He is in his 7th season in the NBA, a Lehigh grad who majored in journalism and also the host and creator of his Pull Up podcast, which gives people an inside look into the life of an NBA player. And also, I'd like to add, most importantly, a former model and store manager of Abercrombie and Fitch. Welcome, CJ McCollum, to the show. CJ, you know, your resume doesn't really need that much fluffing up. I might have fluffed a little bit there at the end. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Not a lot of people know about my history with Abercrombie and Fitch, so it's good for you to kind of spread that around and really show people who I am on the inside to the core. But that's 15 years ago, and I'm never going back to that life.
I'm not going to lie, though, when I was in high school, that was actually a job that I really wanted to have, because I feel like back in the day, that was a cool gig. And just so everyone's aware, on Twitter, I did this I got tagged in this thing, the 5 jobs, 5 tags, where you list 5 different jobs that you had over the course of your life. Some silly ones, some cool ones, whatever. And you tag 5 people. I tagged CJ. CJ, you were nice enough to get involved. And that's where I found out that you worked at Abercrombie and Fitch. Your former teammate, Pat Connaughton, he was intrigued about that and wanted me to ask you a little bit more about what's going on with that.
Well, long story short, it wasn't even 15 years ago. I exaggerated a little bit. It was 12 years ago, since I'm 28. So my junior year going into senior year, I took this class called e-commerce. And basically, you learned about all things business. And as a part of the class, school would start at, 8. We would start at 7, or like an hour before school we would start. And once your senior year comes, you get job placement. So basically, It's your job to find a job where they find you a job. So you get used to working in the real world. You do different things depending on what job you sign up for. And me and one of my good friends from home, Blake McMillan, we both were like, yo, let's get a job where basically we get to pick our hours, right? So a lot of times I would be at work, but I'll be working out because I was a part-time employee, basically, with swing shifts. So weekends we'd alternate weekends. Like he would work a Sunday, then I would work a Sunday. We both applied for Abercrombie, and we didn't work a lot of hours. But I don't know if they fired me or not, but I think basically I just stopped going in once class was over. I just stopped showing up, and I was just hoping they wouldn't place me in within the hours.
I love it. So it was a good opportunity, and it sounds like it was a lot of fun, other than the fact that you just kind of left it and didn't say goodbye, but nonetheless. Well, now that we've got the serious matters taken care of, just wanted to bring you onto the show because I know you've been very involved with not only the NBA, but also the NBPA with regards to their response to the pandemic and everything. But first, how has your life changed since they announced the season being suspended on March 11th?
My life changed a lot. I've had time, obviously, a lot of time to reflect, kind of go over things, see what I want to accomplish going forward, 5 years, 10 years. And obviously during retirement, I've been able to spend a lot of time with my fiance, being able to, spend time with a dog, adopt a dog, kind of go through that process, probably something we wouldn't have been able to do till summertime or next year. So that's been cool. And besides that, trying to call family, stay in touch and keep people in the house, because it's hard for older people in my family to kind of listen to instructions and directions because they're so, used to living a certain way. So that's been a process. But outside of that, I've just tried to stay as educated as possible on what's going on and learn a little bit about other aspects of the business world.
What do you remember about that day on March 11th? Because I know your situation was a bit unique.
Yeah, I was recording a podcast with Mello. So we were sitting here at the desk next to me, and we were recording, had a game the next day. So we were kind of getting ready for that and just talking about the season, talking about like mental health, talking about everything he's gone through. He was telling stories about like Kion, his son, AAU, how he didn't want to go around the game at first. And then I get an alert from the NBPA. Like they text me and like, hey, this is going to come out soon. The season's about to be suspended. And I was like, suspended? Like, yeah, right. Like, whatever. And then I seen Oklahoma City have to go to the locker room. Like, teams started having to go to the locker room like mid-game. And I was like, uh-oh. And then as I'm recording this, I tell Mello, I go to the cellar and grab 2 bottles of wine. And I'm like, well, the season's over. That means we're
I
not
love
playing tomorrow.
that was your reaction. I was like, well, we're not going to be playing for a while, so go get some beers, go get some wine.
Yeah, so I poured up, we finished 2 bottles, and then kept recording for another 35, 40 minutes, and then the news came out.
What's been the hardest thing for you over the last month and a half since you've been away from basketball?
Just your routine. You had to come up with a new routine. So like figuring out, my schedule for each day, like take the dog out at 7:30 or 8. Like then I try to work out. Then I have conference calls. I have to do this, I have to do that. So like trying to stay on like some type of schedule because otherwise the days just kind of roll over. Next thing you know, it's been 20 days of you doing nothing and eating terrible. So try to have structure. Chef's done a good job of keeping us, in order with the meals that we're eating, staying healthy. And obviously we have cheat days like today, pound cake, pancakes.
Oh, fun. So wait, do you do a cheat day on Thursday rather than the weekend? My cheat day is usually on Sunday.
So I don't have a designated day. It's moods.
Oh, okay.
So I just go by my moods. If there's 7 days in a week, I like to say I'm like 85, 90% clean. So, 10%. So some weeks it's 7 days of just eating great. And then other weeks it might be 4 days. And then those 3 days of just freedom, I kind of mix around and play around a little bit and give them creative freedom. But usually I just love French fries. So usually French fries are my cheat meal like every week.
I love it. I love it. If my cheat day was based on my mood, it would not be pretty. That would not be a good plan for me. I might stray off my my diet a little bit. So what has your mood been like over the past month?
I've been moody for sure. I've been up and down. Some days I'm great. I'm excited. I'm energetic. The sun's shining, and other days it's raining and I'm kind of like dragging. So it's just being able to adjust, trying to find peace, trying to stay sane during these times, and reading a little bit, staying in contact with people, FaceTiming, a lot of Zoom conference calls, some Zoom calls with the homies. And now that we got the NFL draft today, I don't know, well, whenever you release this that day, that makes me happy. I'm gonna put my Browns jersey on, and today's gonna be a great day. It's gonna be a great day.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are excited. The fact that the NFL draft is continuing, and some people are a little surprised that they're doing it, but I think sports fans need something. So I think it's the NFL draft and also the Michael Jordan doc that I think a lot of people are really excited about, which I know you've been really, really into. Just going back to what you were talking about the moodiness, and that's something that I can definitely relate to when sport was out of my life. And I know a lot of other athletes are experiencing the same thing, but what is it without basketball that affects you the most?
I think just from an energy level standpoint, you used to going to practice in the morning, being around your teammates, traveling. Obviously, the competition of it is a lot of fun. Rehab, massages, treatment, recovery, like you go through all these things that you're accustomed to doing, and then you just take it away. Shooting was like therapeutic for me, and now that's the one thing that I can't really do right now. So being able to kind of find something else, whether that's I finally set up my Xbox. I've had an Xbox here for a long time, and I hooked it up. I downloaded FIFA. I downloaded Call of Duty 2K. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to play some video games at night occasionally, and then just, figure out other things. Like I've cooked a little bit, just doing a little bit of everything to try to, get some normalcy in these day-to-day, struggles of sometimes just being in the house for 6, 7 straight days.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you miss a lot of the adrenaline and pushing your body in the aspect of training?
Yeah, definitely on the court. I'm still working out at home. I bought a lot of stuff. We got bikes, we got kettlebells, we got the Kaiser functional machine. So I'm able to get pushes, pulls in. I'm doing core stability, movement stuff, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's you're working out in your house or you're outside, and it's just your home is your home, right?
Yes.
It's hard to mix those things. So now like your home is everything. You work out here, you take calls here, you do meetings here, you sleep here. It's like, where's the separation? And it's hard. I'm sure everybody's going through it, just kind of designating time for certain things and like figuring out which space you're going to use for certain things.
And you are in Portland, right? You decide to hunker down in Portland?
Yeah, I'm here. I'll be here for the foreseeable future. Obviously, my family's in the East Coast, her family's in the East Coast. So we want to get back at some point, but we don't want to put anybody in harm, especially, our parents are over 50, over 60, and then our grandparents. You don't want to risk, potentially, infecting them as an asymptomatic carrier.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, regardless of how difficult everything has been, I know that you have been somebody who's been very outspoken about encouraging your colleagues and NBA players, also athletes, to really maximize this time and begin to explore other things outside their sport. And you had a great tweet. I'm going to read it out really quickly. But on March 11th, you tweeted out, "I hope all the players take some time to really work on life outside basketball. Use your resources and celebrity to your advantage. Take the meetings, diversify, and learn to explore other avenues of income while you're still in the league. Because when it's over, it's over." And I love the fact that you tweeted that out the day the season was suspended, because that tells me you were already thinking about the future. Why did you feel the need to tweet that out?
I think sometimes everybody's, just caught up in the moment. Like a lot of times I get caught up in the now, the present, what I'm trying to accomplish, what I want to accomplish down the road. It takes priority over a lot of things. And I think once the basketball is taken away from you, whether that's injury, whether that's lack of performance, or you just decide to kind of give it up. But for me, I've been thinking about how many years I want to play, what I want to do when I'm retired, how I'm going to do it, how do I prepare. The average player is in and out within 4.5, 5 years. So I had to be ready for anything. And I think now a lot of players with this idle time, they've been able to kind of take calls they probably normally wouldn't take, learn more about business, whether that's real estate, tech, funds, investing, whatever the case may be. I just want players, not just players, but people in general to understand that you need to have a backup plan, because I know a lot of people who've been laid off, right? So what are you going to do now? Not just from an income standpoint, but from a happiness and overall health standpoint. Like, how do you stay happy during times like this, to where what you've been accustomed to doing is taken away?
So for people, especially athletes who are really trying to explore and take that next step, could you explain some of the things that you are doing right now to help keep your mind off of basketball and make sure you're productive and bettering yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I have bi-weekly calls with a few people, especially people who are in the business world. They're prevalent. They understand what's going on in terms of the market, finances, and how to properly invest. So just taking those calls to educate myself on what's going on, learning about like the pulse of Wall Street, the pulse of the Silicon Valley, what's happening. We have my financial advisor, business manager. We're going through decks, that have been pitched to us, and just kind of going back and forth, looking at what we want to potentially invest in, studying my income, right? The breakdown of my income. What are my spending habits? This is stuff I normally do anyway, but now I can really like thoroughly go through the statement for hours as opposed to like 30 minutes. Like I'm just going through every transaction, bank statements, just to have more familiarity with everything that's going on around me. And then we've been doing calls. My financial advisor, Joey, does a great job of setting up like educational calls for things I'm interested in. So I've invested in real estate. So we had a call with Don Peebles. I'm learning about franchising, potentially going to be a franchisee in a couple businesses. So yesterday I did a call with Junior Bridgman. So just little stuff like that, to where I'm bringing in other players. Obviously, I share the dial in and try to, basically show people like, hey, these are the networks you need to be a part of. These are the type of conversations you need to be having. And at the very least, you just learn something new every time.
Yeah, for sure. I know, you just kind of mentioned the lack of structure right now, because you don't have practice. And I think that's where athletes, when they retire, that's where they struggle the most, because they don't have a coach right there telling them what to do, and they don't have everything lined up. So how are you creating that structure for yourself right now?
I just set a schedule. Obviously, the dog just barks when it wants to bark, so you naturally don't need an alarm. You just wake up
or they just pee on the floor, and that's it.
Right. But we're crate training her now, so she's in the cage.
That's
she tries
good.
to sleep. She tries to sleep, stay out as long as possible. But either when I get up to go to bed, she goes to the crate, or I carry her to the crate. Like there's no in between. But she knows that that's bedtime, and she takes naps in there throughout the day and stuff, so she's comfortable. But we get up and do that, kind of alternate. But this week is like my week for like 7:30 bathroom breaks, and it's been raining sometimes in the morning, so it's like, please come back in the house and don't make me chase you. And then you just start your day. So I usually have conference calls, meetings, maybe some interviews. Then I work out. I'm eating like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. Mostly good snacks, pico, fruits, crackers. occasional cookies, whatever the case may be.
And do you put
And
that?
then
Do you put that in your phone? Sorry to interrupt. Don't lose your train of thought. But do you put that in your phone, or do you have a calendar?
yeah, I have a calendar.
Okay.
So everything's in my calendar. So like interviews, calls, stuff I have to do, Instagram posts, like whatever the case may be. Like I've been getting challenged in a lot of stuff. So like having to remind myself, like, yo, you have to do these things. And then next thing you know, it's 6 p.m. So it's like I got my workout in, check. I had all these calls, check. Did I do anything like from an educational standpoint? Like what did I learn today? Maybe it was 30 minutes of reading, maybe it's 30 minutes of reading online. Maybe I watch like 10 minutes of the news, but I can't handle more than 10 minutes because it's just too depressing.
Yeah.
And then I shift to Xbox or FaceTime or TV shows on Netflix, and then it's bedtime.
That sounds good. That sounds like a very busy day. Well, here's your opportunity to maybe get a little bit more up and close and personal to us. We always like to do a little quarantine cribs at the very end. Are you ready, CJ?
I am. I'm ready.
All right.
I might have to do some moving around.
Don't be afraid to pick up the computer and move it around and show us everything. So where's your comfort spot in your home during all of this?
Well, I've been here a lot. Like this is my desk, office, whatever you want to call it. So I've been here a lot. Didn't really clean up, so I'm going to keep the camera high.
It looks very clean. What are you talking about? What could possibly be on the ground?
Who knows, right? So, who knows? So this couch right here, look, let me keep the camera high. This couch right here.
I love it.
This is where I spend a lot of my time, right here. And I got to show you the cage.
Very nice. I feel like all the guys, everybody actually just loves the couch. A lot of people like the corner spot. That seems to be the place.
Corner spot is definitely good. I'm trying to turn the camera, but I don't think it's working.
That's all right. Oh, you're going to flip it around? Let's see.
Yeah, let's go to. There's the cage.
Aww.
She's got a little mini mansion, so she's good.
A mini mansion. Does she have 2 beds in there?
She does.
Oh my God. Look at you guys. Yeah.
One bed, right? One bed she eats on. So she like put her water stuff in there. She eats. And then she goes and sleeps on the other side and then comes back. She goes back and forth. We had one bed in there, but then she'll be walking around. It's like, we don't want her walking around all night because you can kind of hear it.
Yeah, and then that's when things really can go wrong. You don't want a puppy roaming around your house in the middle of the night. This might lead to the next to your puppy. I was about to ask, what's your comfort toy or gadget in all of this?
Yeah, her. I don't know where she's at. It's probably with Elise.
What's her name?
Hiding somewhere. Elise. The doggy's name is Fiona.
This is where.
Hey!
Hi! What kind of dog is she?
We think she's Bull Mastiff and Sharpei.
Oh my God, she's big. She's kind of. Wait, how old is she? She's 5 months.
5.5 months. Yeah, ish. But yeah, we got DNA tests, so we're gonna DNA test her.
Oh, you guys did the 23andMe for dogs.
Basically, the 23andMe for dogs.
Oh, that's awesome.
And bark. Yeah, so there she is.
What a cutie.
She heard her name, so she knows she's in trouble for her antics earlier. So.
Well, you know what? You got to let a little pee slide. That's what puppies do. What's been your comfort food in all of this?
French fries. French fries and chocolate. French fries and chocolate have definitely, I'm trying to get the camera right, definitely been my comfort food. Oh, sorry, you can see the picture. So let's make sure that picture is appropriate.
I mean, it looks appropriate. I actually can't really see. Maybe other people can, but for people listening, they won't be able to see it. So you're good. It looks very appropriate. It just looks like a woman in a dress, right?
Yeah, a woman in a dress.
Yeah,
exactly.
Is that what? Are you being sarcastic? I can't tell. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like.
No, I'm being serious, but I got like certain pictures like on walls.
Okay.
I didn't know what room I was in.
Gotcha. No, I mean, we're good. Well, you're good on this show. We go a little PG-13. Nothing too X-rated, please, though. So do you have any advice for people to stay sane through all of this?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I always say is, figure out ways to get outside for a little bit while practicing social distancing, obviously, whether that's taking walks, just sitting outside on the porch or whatever the case may be. Try to get some type of exercise in. Maybe you're going on walks, you jump rope and you're riding a bike or whatever. Because there's so many hours in a day, you'll go crazy if you just literally stay in the house and twiddle your thumbs. I would say to reach out to family. That's been helpful. Family and friends, check on them, FaceTime them, text them, make sure they're doing all right, and give yourself some time. If you're in the house with someone, give yourself some me time, because it's not healthy and not normal to be with someone for 24 hours consecutively. So figure out a way to get yourself an hour to 3 hours a day. I think that would be very, very good advice for everyone.
Yeah, that's solid advice. I will gladly take that. Who would you like to tag next to be interviewed on this show? Who do you think would be somebody good to chat with?
I would say you can't go wrong. Dame, Nurk. I would say Dame or Nurk. You could pick one of those guys. Nurk's still rehabbing, so he's working out every day. Dame's working out at home. So I would say one of those two guys. You pick. You flip a coin and pick one of them.
That's good. I like it. All right, CJ.
They're both funny. Yeah. They're both funny.
I think we could use a little laughter. That's for sure. So I'm all about bringing anybody on who's going to make us smile and laugh. Well, CJ, thank you so much for hopping on. I know you've been keeping yourself very busy, so I appreciate you taking the time to hop on here and share your insight and advice, and stay safe. And I hope whenever the season gets back and up and running, good luck with everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I just want to tell you one more thing.
Here
Duke
it comes.
Sucks.
I knew you.
Duke sucks. And,
you know what? I was like, you know what? We've been through about 24 minutes and he hasn't talked any Duke trash. Like, this is good.
Hawks for life. I always want to be a Tar Heel, but I'll settle for being a Mountain Hawk for life. I just want you to know that.
Oh my gosh.
I have nothing else.
That's just, you know what? But I told you that my husband, he went to Lehigh. So, but he's also a Duke fan as well. So there's just like a lot of, overlapping. So I don't really know. I don't have anything mean to say about it. You don't think he is?
I think he's just a fan of you and you went to Duke. That's it. I don't think he's actually a Duke fan.
He just said he doesn't think you're a Duke fan. You're just a fan of me. So, I mean, we did name our son Duke. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have that. I know. I know. I know. I mean, you could always name your kids Lehigh. You could go that route too.
No chance. I love Lehigh, but there's no chance that's happening. No chance.
Oh, good. Well, that only took about 24 minutes before the trash talking started. In all honesty, I thought it was going to start about 40 seconds in. So you were very patient.
Professional too, yeah.
No.
On the way out, you gotta take your jabs on the way out.
I like it. Well, then I have to bring you back on so then we can continue the trash talking.
Sounds good.
All right, CJ. Take care of yourself. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Have a good one. Stay safe.